Hi, I'm Eric. That is Steven. I think I'm pointing in the right direction. No. That is Lloyd, and that is also Eric. We, all four of us, are just got played. And we just got done playing Gods Love Dinosaurs by Pandasaurus? Pandasaurus, right?
Yeah.
So join us for Pandasaurus Games. And Steven, we're going to do some fancy cutaway magic right here, and he's going to show you how to play the game.
There is nothing wrong with your screen. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. This is a digital implementation of Gods Love Dinosaurs on Tabletopia. If you're not familiar with Tabletopia, then check out our Just Got Played review of it. Alright, so in Gods Love Dinosaurs, you have an ecosystem, and on your turn, you're going to draft a tile to add it. So you can take a tile and rotate it however you want. So let's say I took this one and put it here. This symbol here tells me that I need to add a bunny to my ecosystem, so I get to do that. Let's say one of my opponents takes another tile. Maybe they took that one. That's fine. And then on my turn, I'm going to take another tile. I'm going to take this one. And you can see that this column is now depleted. So what that means is bunnies are going to expand. So frogs, bunnies, and rats are all prey, and they expand in the same way in that you increase the number of them that you have. Now, a bunny would expand. So for instance, this bunny can expand to this space because it's preferred habitat. It cannot expand over here because they only want to go in their preferred habitat. Now this bunny, however, it doesn't have a space to expand at its preferred habitat, but this space is a wild, so any kind of creature can go in there. Alright, so then let's say my opponent took another turn. Maybe they took that tile. I'm going to take this tile. This adds a tiger to my environment. Tiger or predator. So then say my opponent takes this tile, and now tigers are activated. So when tigers are activated, and on an activation, everybody at the table does it. So even though my opponent depleted this column and activated tigers, I get to do it. I need to move 1 or 2 spaces. I need to finish my turn on a prey, and I need to eat at least one prey, otherwise I starve. So I could move here and eat this bunny, and then when I move again and eat another bunny, like let's say I eat this one, I leave another tiger behind. So I've increased my tiger population. Eagles, the way that they work is they go in a straight line up to 3 spaces. Again, eating prey, they have to land on a prey, and they make new eagles as they go. If this tile were depleted for some reason, frogs would activate, but then dinosaurs would activate. And the way dinosaurs work is they can move up to 5 spaces, changing direction as they go. They eat anything they step on. They need to eat at least one thing. But if they eat predators, they make eggs. So for instance, say I walked my dinosaur here, I would get an egg for that. Right? Take me up to 4. Now maybe I don't want to eat all my tigers because I want to have tigers later to make more tigers. So maybe I'll go this way and I'll eat this bunny, and then I could walk here and walk here. Dinosaurs have to end their turn on a mountain. Now the dinosaur moves, and then we repopulate columns that have been depleted, right? So this column was empty, this column was empty, this column was empty, this column was empty, this column was not empty, so I don't add anything there. And now the next time bunnies activate, dinosaurs will activate. And when I have another turn where dinosaurs activate, you can actually spend an egg to make a new dinosaur on the nest here. At the end of the game, when these tiles have run out, you count up the number of eggs you have plus the number of dinosaurs you have, and whoever has the highest total wins the game.
So, we're back, and since I love listening to myself talk, I will start with a positive about this game. One of the things that I really liked about this game is that I felt like it's something that you could set up and get started really, really easily. Like the core actions in the game are really simple. Setup would be quick. I mean, I don't know how it would set up physically, but just from comparing it since we played it on Tabletopia, but from looking at it, I mean, it was just a pile of tiles, some bags with eggs in it, and then, you're just setting stuff out, and your turns are really simple. So I feel like it's one of those games that in just a couple of minutes you could teach people how to play.
Yeah. I think it's really easy to teach. I mean, I think there's some depth there, right? Like strategic depth. But as far as the choices that you have, it's really a small subset, so easy to teach. Yeah.
Yep. So, Eric, what is something that you disliked about this game?
Must be something in the name, because I also like to hear myself talk. But to me, it was just a bit too abstract. I started playing in this hobby on abstract games and thought I loved them. And then the more I got into it, I found I really like meat. I like setting, I like theme, and I like when it really comes together and tells a story. And you walk away with an experience. I don't feel like this was an experience. I felt like I put a little puzzle together, and that was the game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It felt like a really puzzly game. I mean, there is a theme there, and the theme does make sense, right? Like, you've got predators eating prey, and so it's not just like completely pasted on theme, but yeah, it definitely feels sort of like an abstract game, feels very puzzly.
Yeah, it didn't have to be dinosaurs. It could have been fish eating smaller fish. Like it wouldn't have changed anything.
The gods don't love fish; they love dinosaurs. So.
I mean, dinosaurs are cooler than fish. I'll agree there. So, Lloyd, what is something that you disliked about this game?
The major takeaway I got from this was it was kind of like multiplayer solitaire. There's a central board that has tiles that you draft, and you can look at other people's little ecosystems they're building and come up with a strategy to deny them or trigger things when they're not ready. But for the most part, I just kind of focused on my little ecosystem and what I wanted to happen in my ecosystem, regardless of how it affected anybody else. So it kind of felt like it's to me, it's scratching the same itch as an Azul or a Sagrada, where there's a central board, I'm drafting stuff, and I have very little control over what you're doing other than taking something that you might want. And to be honest, it's better to grab something I need and I want than to deny you something and take a lesser choice for myself, I think. So
yeah, see, that's interesting, because one of the things that I liked about the game is I don't necessarily like direct conflict in the games I play, but I like indirect player interaction, and I thought that central board kind of brought that to the game. Like, there were situations where there was a tile in a column that I thought would probably benefit me more than some other tile, but I took the other tile because I wanted that, predator to activate before the other thing activated, right? So I'm playing off what other people are doing, and that influenced my decisions. And, I could spend my time looking around the table like, oh, I should trigger rats now because that's going to screw everybody else. And I didn't really do that because I thought that was just too much thinking, too much time for this game, for how light and fast it was. So not only did I not want to directly target people, but I didn't want to bog the game down either. But, just sort of playing, like making a decision like, well, this tile would work for me, but this one would work too. And just trying to figure out what's going to trigger first and influencing what's going to trigger by depopulating those columns. I mean, that felt like the right level of player interaction in a game like this for me.
I think that just goes to show that there's a lot more depth in it than it seemed, because it really just seemed like you place a tile, you throw the thing out, these guys multiply, you eat some guys. But I agree with you, there's more depth there because there's just all these different levels of which tile, which animal do I want there. So there is that going on.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the first play, but I didn't feel like I played particularly well, and our scores were all pretty close. I feel like probably if we played again, we would all do a lot better. Like, I think there's some depth there, right?
Oh, no, I agree with that wholeheartedly, because, I mean, I feel like around turn 3, I was already realizing that I'd made some mistakes. I had a dinosaur off to the side somewhere, and it never really had anything to eat because I'd kind of screwed up how I'd set my prey out and how I'd set my predators out. So, I mean, that's one of those things that on a subsequent playthrough I would do better at. So there's definitely depth there, things to learn.
Yeah, cool. Well, I love dinosaurs now, so, I just wanted to add that.
You must be a god.
Well, so that was Gods Love Dinosaurs. Again, I am Eric. That is also Eric. That is Steve. That is Lloyd. We are Just Got Played. I hope you enjoyed our video. Bye.
Oh, too soon. Sorry.
Bye.